requirement that you pay your premium in order to get the tax credit.
What department would have this data?
It's going to come to my office, to my agency.
Who would be the individual that would be in charge of that
That's
operation?
also Sharon Arnold.
How many? So we don't know at this point how many people have actually paid for coverage.
That's right.
All right, folks. That's congressional testimony by a CMS administrator. Welcome back to the Steve Malzberg Show, saying that they don't know how many people who have, quote-unquote, signed up for Obamacare or any other policy have actually paid for those policies. But there's a tweet that Barack Obama's, well, I'm sure he didn't put it out. It was at Obama.com Healthcare. It's from a Barack Obama tweet, actually. And it says, 6 million Americans have gotten covered. Have you? And our next guest, Glenn Kessler, the fine author from the Washington Post, the fact-checker column, says, ignore claims that 3.9 million people signed up for Medicaid because of Obamacare. And that 3.9 million, Glenn, as we welcome you aboard, thanks again, that 3.9 million goes into the 6 million figure that they're talking about, right?
That's right. And the other part of that 6 million figure is what you were just listening to, supposedly the people that have signed up for private plans, though since they haven't built the part of the system would tell them who paid for their premiums, they don't really know who paid for premiums either.
So I want you to describe the fallacy of the 3.9, but let's skip to the end here. I guess the bottom line is they're throwing out numbers, but they have no idea about these numbers, right?
Right. I mean, if you dig deep into these reports, you might find out it's less than meets the eye. But correct, the 3.9 million from Medicaid, that's essentially everyone who signed up for Medicaid in October and November.
Wow.
Including people that are renewing, people that are would have qualified before and are signing up for the first time. And the big question is how many people are going to sign up as part of the expansion pool, which that's part of the law. That's part of Obamacare. And they're not going to know that number for months.
Yeah, so in 2014, the CBO estimates that I think 9 million Americans are going to sign up for Medicaid, or the number will increase by 9 million. But that for the White House or the administration to then take that number, as they might eventually do, and say, see, these people would have become eligible anyway, right?
Yes, exactly, and that's what part of the confusion was. Why I was confused at first, because you see that CBO estimate 9 million, and then it's halfway through. You think they released this thing at the end of December, and you're thinking it's halfway through the enrollment period. Sounds like they're on track with Medicaid. Nearly 4 million, halfway there. But it turns out it's 2 months of numbers having to do with everyone who ever signed up for Medicaid. It really doesn't. It doesn't tell you anything about how well the Affordable Care Act is doing.
And you want the reporters to stop. I guess swallowing this claim from the administration, because it's just it's misleading at best, right?
Yes, this one is particularly misleading. The other number, the 2 million on the for the private plans, that's also reasonably misleading, because it's somewhat similar to saying you put something in your shopping cart at Amazon, and that's what they're counting, all the things that are in the shopping cart.
Right.
They don't know how many people actually pushed the button and ordered the item. Now, their argument, which is not a unreasonable one, is that if you've gone through the whole rigmarole of selecting the plan and everything like that, it's more than just something you put in a shopping cart. But the big problem is they haven't finished building the system. So the insurance companies are supposed to say, hey, here's who paid the premium. Here's who came to us, and they've paid the premium. And they don't know that information, and it's actually kind of important, because that's how the insurance companies are eventually going to get paid back for the subsidies.
Yeah, well, eventually we're all going to pay them back for the subsidies, I think. So you gave it how many Pinocchios on a scale of 1 to 4?
I gave it 3, and I gave it also to myself for swallowing the information in the first place.
I tell you, God bless you, because what your column is so well respected and so much talked about because of the publication that you write for, and the political bent that some of us might believe it has. And then you come along and you took Obama. I think three of the 5 lies of the year were from Obama's mouth himself last year. We had John in December, and now this one here, it really is troubling. Is it? Do you find it troubling for a man who does what you do?
I've been doing this for writing about policy and politics for 3 decades. I'm never really surprised.
That's a good answer. All right, Glenn. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
We'll speak to you soon. Glenn Kessler, author of the very influential The Fact Checker blog for the Washington Post. Yeah, 3 Pinocchios. 3 Pinocchios for Barack Obama, who tweeted, of course, he tweeted himself. That's what he does. He's up all night, like me, tweeting out stories and facts and figures. 6 million Americans have gotten covered. Have you? Lie, lie, lie. He breathes. He lies. He lies. He breathes. On the Steve Malzberg Show, Alan West up next on the Steve Malzberg Show.
The Steve Malzberg Show.